All right, just starting the recording now. We're covering part two. What do we know so far? So previously we have, in part one, we have gone off and we've calculated a box and whisker plot. To make a box and whisker plot, we need to know what a 5-number summary is. And I've just asked the students what makes up a 5-number summary. So someone want to answer that? And we have got a few answers. So our 5-number summary is going to include, get this up here, 5-number summary. It's going to include our minimum, our Q1, our median, our Q3, and our max value. So what would your minimum value be in this data set here, for example? What would your minimum data value be? All right, Thomas reckons it's 0. Absolutely. Give us a ticker across. If you think the minimum value, is there any lower value than this one here? Ticker across. Tick, this is the lowest, or cross, no, there's something lower than 0 here. Fantastic. Everyone's giving me a tick, and it is 0. What about our Q1? Well, let's actually go with our max. That's probably the easier next one to pick out. What's the maximum value in this data set here? 24. Right, perfect. So we can write in 24. That's the maximum value. Now, median. What's the step in calculating the median in a data set? Well, first of all, what's a sentence that we can use to describe how to calculate the median in any data set, really? What's a rule that we would go ahead with? Can everyone please text chat that through, and then we'll move on from that. So I've heard from Thomas, thank you. Just a really simple sentence that just describes and summarises what the median is. And if you don't know, that's fine. You can just put a question mark in if you're unsure. Just so that indicates to me as to who needs a bit of help with this one. Or if you have got a sentence that describes it, be confident, have a go. No one's going to see it. Great. Thanks, India. Thanks, Taylor. So Taylor, just confirming, when you say it's the middle value, so would that be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, between 3.8 and 0.2? Have I got to do something else to this data set before I just pick the middle value? What do I need to do to this data set, first of all? Because absolutely, it's the middle value, but what do we need to do to the data set? Absolutely, we need to sort this out from minimum to maximum. So that's what we're going to do now. So you've got 0.0, you've got another 0.0, you've also got 0.0, 1, 2, no, sorry, we've only got 2 zeros. All right, so that's why we've got to double check that. So delete. Delete that out. 0, 0. Do you guys want to cross that out as we go through as well? Someone wants to highlight that. We'll just cross it out in like a yellow, the numbers that we're going for. What's the next lowest number after the 2 zeros that we've got? Thanks. What's our next one? Okay, so 0.2 is probably the next lowest number because that's closest to 0. So we'll put that one up there, 0.2. What's our next lowest number? 2.6. Fantastic. What's our next lowest number after 2.6? Will someone cross that one off for me as well? Thank you. Our next lowest number is 3.8. Yep. And yeah, you can definitely order it and text chat that through. That's very helpful. Thank you. So our next one is 6.6. Great. Our next one is, what's our next number? 10. Fantastic. Great. And then our next one, 11.4. Great. And then our next one is 14.4, right? And what's our next lowest number? What about 15.6? Yep. Next one, 20. And then you've got 24 as well. Fantastic. All right, there's that 12 numbers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Great, we've got 12 numbers. Now, what's my next step to calculate the median? So you said the middle value. Do you want to circle either the middle value or the two middle values that we need to take an average of? If someone wants to put a box around that, that would be very helpful. Otherwise, I can grab that for us as well. Or if you want to text chat through the two numbers that we're going to take an average of. Great, thank you. Someone's done that. So I'm going to get the line and then to show you what we're going to do here. So if someone explain why we're taking an average of these two. Why can't we just use 6.6 or 10? Why would that be wrong to just use 6.6? Yep, because it's not the middle value, correct. So we want to take an average to find the true balance between them. So we've got 6.6, we're going to add them together, and basically we're going to find an average between the two. So we're going to go 6.6 plus 10, and then divide that by 2. And what do you guys get there? So 16.6 divided by 2. 8.3. Are we on board with that? Yep. Cool. All right. So our median is going to be equal to 8.3. All right. So that's our step for finding that. Now, what about our Q1? What's our step in finding the Q1, guys? How do we find the Q1? I'll give us a hint. There's our lower quartile. What would I need to do next? Yep, we need to take an average of basically the middle of the lower quartile, which in that case we have got 0.2 and we've also got 2.6. So we're going to take an average of that. So thanks Thomas, you've done that for me. Great, you've got 0.2 plus 2.6. Divide that by 2. Fantastic. And then we'll do the upper quartile as well. Great. So we can actually include, in this case here, you can include the middle value there as well. So these are the steps that you're going to be using to sort of show your working out. I'll leave that there for you to calculate as well, because this is actually the answer. To actually reveal the answers. No. All right. So I'll leave that there for you to have a go at. But I'd like you to show your working out for this. Okay. And then the upper quartile, we have got, let's go with this color. We've got 14.4 plus 15.6 and then we're going to divide that by 2, and we will get our Q3. All right, so I'm going to leave those available for you to take a look at as well, but that is your steps for calculating the 5-number summary. Once you've got your 5-number summary, you'll be able to replicate a box and whisker plot. Okay, so if you're someone that needs to brush up on 5-number summary and box and whisker plot, guess what? I have set a Education Perfect task for you to take a look at. Okay, so when you log into Education Perfect, which I can see not many people have done today, I think only one student might have. But if I go in and sign in for the Tuesday class, there it is, term 4, week 3, 5-number summary, box and whisker plot. This is a really good activity to brush up on those skills that you might be wanting to practice on. So it's got 8 parts to it. Obviously, if you've done box and whisker plots from last week, you've done the range, you've done the quartiles, you've done the interquartile range, that's all good. You can just jump straight up to the 5-number summary, okay? And this, when you start it, we're going to go through it shortly just now, but it will revise your knowledge on that. Am I sharing my screen? Not yet. Let's do that. So there's your 5-number summary. This is from Education Perfect. When you do log in, you'll be able to see this. You've got 5 points of summary to cover. It goes through it. It gives you a summary as to what you need to find. Okay, it gives you an example here. And then it actually gives you an opportunity to have a go and refresh your memory on it. I'm just going to drag it across because that's where I'm recording as well. But as you can see, they've given you 12, 15, 16, 18, 23, 26, and 31. It says use the drag and drop options, select the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile, and the maximum. So we could go ahead and do that one there as well. So what's my lower one going to be? Someone wants to text chat that through. What would my lower be from that? The minimum would be the 12. Yep, so I can go off and drag it. That's basically all I do. Place that there. 12. What would my maximum be? You can see it's lined up there as 31. Great. Yep, I agree with you there. What would our middle value be? You can see it's 18. And the left quartile would take as 15. All right, because we've got a middle value, we cross out the 18, and then we're dealing with the 3 on the left-hand side, or the 3 lowers. And then we've got the 3 uppers, 23, 26, 31. So our middle value there is 26. So we place that there. We can check our answer. And hey, we all got green ticks, which is great. So that's something I'll get you to check out after the lesson if you've not already had a go at it. This is something I would like you to have a go at to help prep you for this assignment as well. So this is on Education Perfect. The link has been emailed out to you this morning in week 3's email. You'll need to click on it and sign in. Okay, if you're having trouble signing in, you can email me after the lesson and I'll deal with that after the lesson. At the moment, just showing you where you can go to find out more information. Once you've done 5-number summary, okay, you've hopefully understood it. You can then make the connection to the box and whisker plot, okay? Because at the end of the day, the skill that I'm looking for here or trying to develop with you is create a 5-number summary, create a box and whisker plot, and then compare them, okay? So we've got plotting box and whisker plots. You can go around, play around with that one as well. It gives you some options for plotting. So let's take a look at that one really quickly. So it says, now that we know what goes where on a box and whisker plot, it's time to start plotting our own plots, okay? So we can click on to the next page for that. So we need to make a 5-number summary. There we go. We've got our 5-number summary. We've got minimum, Q1, median, Q3, maximum, and we've got a very funny looking alpaca there as well. And as you can see, this is how we're going to sketch it out. Oh, sorry, llamas. It's a llama, not an alpaca. Stand corrected there. So these are the weights of llamas on a, what was the question saying? On a llama farm, was it? In Peru. There we go. So here's another one we've got that you'll be able to do as well, but you'll need to sketch this out. So it says, the data below shows the length of a number of glaciers in Greenland in kilometres. We've got a 5 kilometre one, 15, 30, 40, 40, 50. Plot the data on a box and whisker plot below. Okay, so you'd be trying to sketch out a box and whisker plot. So let's do that in blue. So I'm going to go, oh, there's 5, so that would be halfway there. Oh, and actually we can use straight lines, which is good. Delete that one out, straight line. Much easier. Great. All right. And then I'm going to draw in another line for 15, so that would be about here. And then I've got 30, so that would be, oh, right there. And then I would have 40. Oh, I can do the maximum actually. Okay, so in this case, I think we need to actually do a calculation there, don't we? So our median would it be 35 because it's actually in the middle between 30 and 40. So we need to take an average, 30 plus 40, and then divide by 2, and we get 35. So I'm going to delete that out. Put our minimum in, 5's not going to change. Maximum is going to still be 50. Our middle value would be 35. Our Q1 would be 15. That's good. And then our upper would be 40, Q3. So I need to draw in some boxes as well for that one, and some whiskers. So let's see if I've done this correctly, all right? So we've got a box and whisker plot. We've got our median in the middle, our quartiles, and our upper. There we go. So we did our 5-number summary, and we've got our length of glaciers in Greenland. That was pretty well similar to what we had. We had 50, and we had to calculate the median. So 5-number summary and our box and whisker plot. And then we've got an opportunity to sketch out 5-number summary and box and whisker plots. All right, so this is your playground to practice in for here. I'm going to also look at it and check later on today to see that everyone has made an attempt at this, because I get instant feedback as how you're going with this as well. Okay, and I can also screenshot what you've done and check out what's happening. All right. The next part, which is basically related to your assignment, is to compare box and whisker plots. So comparing plots, just going to jump straight up to that. How do we compare them? Well, we can compare it visually. All right. So if we take a look at these two box and whisker plots here, the double box and whisker plot below shows data for the age of pottery found in 2 Mayan sites in Guatemala, Tikal, and Uxacanton. Sorry about the pronunciation there. But basically, you've got 2 different data sets, you're comparing them. So which one has got a bigger spread or bigger range that we can see there? The top one or the bottom one? What would you say, guys? Which one's got the biggest spread? Absolutely. Tikal has got the largest spread. So the maximum value is quite a lot older, obviously, because the age is going out to 2,000 years for sure. So we can compare these visually. You can see there. There you go. They talk about the ranges straight away, so you can see the range is different as well, which is what you'll be able to do with your rainfall when you're comparing that between the previous years for part two. Okay, you can also compare the Q quartile ones, Q1, lower quartile. So we can see that one, the others has got a different quartile, so you can compare that as well for sure. There's also an opportunity within this task for you to compare them, and they're multiple choice as well. Okay, so do have a crack at these as well, and this will definitely prep you for your assignment task. So keeping that in mind, okay, so there's a few other activities you can look at as well within this Education Perfect task. But if you're someone that wants to get, really 100% sure on everything, have a revise box and whisker plots, revise range, revise quartiles, revise interquartile range, and then you'll be on your way to cover everything this week for this within your task. So while you've got that fresh in your memory, if we jump over to part two, what do we know? This is basically what you're going to be doing. Okay, setting up a 5-number summary, turning it into a box and whisker plot, and then comparing it to your data set in part one, okay, from the previous year. And then you'll be able to tell me which was the rainier season, which one was a drier season, was there a drought? Who knows? All right, you could be looking on from that. Part two has also got a second part where I want you to discuss what's happening here. Okay, so discussions in the media often involve statistics. All right, we see this all the time, guys, especially with politics, number of voters, economic statistics, for example, are always included in media as well. Especially when someone wants to justify an opinion. Okay, do you guys have any examples that you've seen recently where people have thrown out some statistics, maybe either valid or outrageous at all? Nope, you've never seen statistics at all, ever, on TV, late night TV. They're putting up statistics around how much this vitamin is going to help you with your weight loss, or how much longer you're going to live. All these crazy claims when really it's not going to do a lot, but the way they're presenting it, I did say recently, but what about in general, all right, in the past? Okay, Thomas, so from when you were born to now, have you seen statistics that have possibly been used to justify an opinion? Yes? What's an example, Thomas? Cassandra, you have? What's an example? It might not even be in social media or print media. It might be through advertising as well. Weight loss as well. When you're walking down the store, and you see this, you see how much I bought it. Even buying a vacuum cleaner. Okay, any other product, they're always trying to compare their product against someone else's, and saying how much more suction this has got. Um, Global warming, that's the really biggest one, absolutely, that's on debate at the moment. And especially, carbon, presidential elections, for sure. Okay, absolutely. And funding as well is a really big one as well. So they might be talking about how much money they're going to be cutting or spending for certain sectors as well. But global warming, definitely, with temperature changes as well over time, is definitely something they would be looking at. So you need to think really carefully about what you hear and read in the media, guys, okay? Because sometimes statistics are not always what they're saying. All right, politicians will always use them to their advantage and present it to the narrative that they want to tell. So insufficient evidence being provided to support the conclusions made. We sometimes see percentages used without indication of the actual size of the survey. So they might go off and survey 10,000 people from a specific suburb and get their opinion on a specific issue, okay? And you might find that it's going to be really biased because they haven't actually included a large population, okay? If you wanted to find the opinion of the whole of Australia and you say, should we um, spend lots of money on drought funding? And if they went and only surveyed farmers who were being directly affected by drought, what sort of a rate of return do you think they'd have? Do you reckon it would be fair, or it'd probably be 100%? Yes, spend money on drought funding. Whereas if you had a different issue and you surveyed some people that didn't really care about the issue, they would probably just say don't care or don't you know. It really depends on the number of people you survey as well. Okay, so we're going to look at these things as well. You've got raw figures used that are based on very different populations as well. So we're going to have a look at this as well and unpack this next week as well. But at the moment, I want you to just get the data calculated, okay? And then we can start to unpack this and explore it next week as well with statistics in the media. So what does the media say? Do these reports link their claims to displays? Statistics, representative data, do they back up what they say with evidence? So let's take a look at the first one, okay? So the first one is drought in far west, New South Wales strikes many. So just for the recording, we're now taking a look at a few news articles that are possibly agreeing with the statistics, the statistics that we've just taken a look at in part 1 and part 2. Students would have compared their box and whisker plot, and now we're taking a look at what the media has to say about the change in rainfall in Broken Hill. And we're asking students how they feel about this. So we're just taking a look at the last one, which is long dry in Broken Hill, worst in living memory, mass emu deaths. New South Wales in general has had its driest start to a year in 30 years, but in some areas of New South Wales, it's the driest it's ever been. That's despite some solid rain in the last week in parts of central New South Wales and in the far north of the northern tablelands. Broken Hill collected just 18.2 millimetres of rain during the last 6 months. So we've got some statistics here, which may or may not agree with what you've written down, but keep that to your for your opinion once we take a look at this, which makes this their driest first half of the year in records dating back to the late 1800s, according to Weatherzone. So that's another source of statistics. Further east, Cobar hasn't fared much better. The Cobar Meteorological Office records 24.4 millimetres during the first half of 2018. Was the town's lowest January to June since 1902. So we've still got the similar trend here. It is a very dry year for them. Parts of western New South Wales just had their driest first half of the year on record, with the prospect of El Nino still looming in the months ahead. Most of western New South Wales received less than half of its average rainfall. So you can go off to continue to read this. They're talking about percentages here with rainfall in the past 12 months and the impact of this as well. And you've got a nice picture here as well with some colourful colours up there. So what are we getting here, guys? What is this graph actually showing us? What do you think it's indicating? What's the point of it? All right. So what is the point of including this graph here from the Bureau of Meteorology? Why would we want to include this here in this article? What sort of a visual impact does this have on the article? And what sort of a story can you tell me about the far west or the far east? Yeah, so absolutely, rainfall is below average, and in some parts it's really well below. Well, the whole trend, I suppose, is it's all below. Everything is below 0 mil. So something definitely to note. And we're saying above temperatures in New South Wales during winter and spring, while the opposite is true for negative variations there as well. So there you go, guys. Drought. I don't know if this is actually connected to global warming. Probably is. But you know, you guys are going to be making some choices later on in your life when you vote. So probably make sure it's climate friendly with those. You've got choice, guys, as to how you want the world to turn out in. All right. So next part, I think that's it for part 2, is where we're basically taking a look. So in your report, you'll take a screenshot of an article, and then just address these questions. How do the articles make you feel? What data has been used in the article, and how does the data affect how your opinion or how you view the article? So does the data actually change your opinion on the article? So I think it's definitely clear that there is a bit of a drought happening in Australia, a drought happening in and around New South Wales. Part 3 we'll take a look at after as well. Oh yeah, should be. So that's what we're going to leave it at there, guys. Is there any questions at all that I can help you with? So part 1 and part 2 is what we're working on for our assignments. Part 3 we'll address later on. Cassandra, have you got any questions for part 1, part 2 of your assignment there? No. India, do you have any questions? No. So Megan, do you have any questions? No. Taylor, have you got any questions about Box and Whisker Plots or anything like that? Thomas, have you got any questions? No. All right. So guys, I'm going to be checking in this afternoon. Can you please make sure that you all do log into Education Perfect and have a crack at the comparing Box and Whisker Plots, and then finishing off or making a start on your part 2. Okay. So part 1 was due last week. If you've not done that, please finish that off today. Part 1 of your assignment is due last week. So you do need to get a wriggle on and finish part 1, okay, in your exercise book. So you're going to do some calculations on this, all right? And this recording will be put up on the channel as well. Thank you very much, guys. If you've got any questions about your part 1 or part 2 of this assignment, please email me henry.green@openaccess.edu.au. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good week.